One particular day when I was 10, my grandmother passed away. As soon as I got back home from school, my mom and my grandpa broke the news to me. Grandma is gone. Then I felt a crashing pain in my chest. Whenever I think of my grandma, I can still recall that heavy sensation in my heart. She was everything to me, a constant, a steady presence in my childhood. And her death broke my heart. Do you remember the pain you felt when someone broke your heart? Or your pets or your loved one die? Or when you have been rejected from a job interview? You probably do, and that's the mental pain we feel. But why do we feel these mental pain at all? These questions are no longer for just poets and philosophers to entertain. Scientists have a lot to say about these questions as well. Before we dive in, let me introduce myself. My name is Myo Pyae Pyae Kyaw, and today, let me take you behind the scene of how our body processes pain, both physical and emotional. So, let's start by asking, what is pain? Pain is a word that is actually aimed at the most tender part of your heart. Pain is something we experience, so it is best measured by what you say it is. Pain has an intensity. You can describe it on a scale from 0, no pain, to 10, the most pain imaginable. But pain also has a character, like sharp, dull, burning, or aching. My question is, what exactly creates these perceptions of pain? Every thought we think creates or sparks an impulse of electrical current that moves along the pathway of nerves in our body. These currents of electricity are carried through fluid-containing messenger molecules called neurotransmitters, which give instructions to the cells in our body. And our bodies are wired for survival. Whenever we sense danger, whether it is a physical one, like a car coming right into your direction, or an emotional one, like losing your loved ones, our brain sends out an alert, releasing stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Think of these stress hormones as your body's emergency responders, like firefighters rushing to the scene. They prepare us either to fight or flight. When it comes to physical pain, we assume that it has two components. The first one is what we call the sensory component. Imagine a cat scratches you. At first, you might not feel that much, maybe just a sharp sting. But within seconds, your skin's pain receptors, called nociceptors, they detect the damage and send signals along the nerve through your spinal cord and up to your brain. And your brain quickly processes that information and reacts like, ouch, that hurts, and your body quickly jumps into action, like dropping the cat. And the second component, the affective or the emotional component, plays a crucial role in how we experience discomfort. When we are in pain, our brain not only registers the physical sensation, but it also triggers an emotional response, like producing cortisol. This creates sort of an emotional storm where feelings like fear, anger, or sadness accompany the physical pain. But what happens when the threat isn't something we can run from, like failing exams? Our brain will send out alert signals to the body, and the body releases stress hormones like adrenaline, which is a part of our homeostasis, and the body's self-regulating process to maintain stability. But these stress chemicals don't fully go away. Instead, they stay in our body because the threat isn't something we can physically respond to. Imagine a traffic jam on a busy road. Like the cars cannot move freely. The cars, which are our energy, they cannot move freely. So everything starts to back up. Over time, this creates tension in our body and disrupts the natural flow of energy in our system. So, blood and oxygen cannot reach to a certain area of the body. When your muscles don't get enough oxygen, they tighten up like a clenched fist. And this tightness puts pressure on the nerve. As a result, the nerve will send out distress signals to your brain, which we experience as pain. That's why when you experience stress or trauma, we experience physical aches like headaches, tight shoulders, or even stomach problems. This is why you feel like your heart crashes into pieces when someone stamps you. This is not just a metaphor. Your brain and body are genuinely reacting to the emotional pain as if it were a physical one. As far as your brain is concerned, a broken heart is not so different from a broken arm. It is kinda easy for us to deal with physical pain since we can describe its location, intensity, or duration. But it is a little bit vague and subjective when we encounter psychological or emotional pain. Turns out that the same area of the brain activates when we experience both types of pain. Just like a cat scratch, your brain will interpret the emotional pain as real, tangible pain. Studies using brain scans have shown that the same area of the brain, called the anterior cingulate cortex, activates when we experience both types of pain. That's why we feel like our heart crashes into pieces when we lose someone. This connection is more common than we might even realize. In 2021, an article published by Harvard Medical School stated that about 65% of patients seeking help for depression has also reported at least one type of pain symptoms. Psychiatric disorder not only contribute to pain intensity, but also increase the risk of disability. Additionally, chronic headaches and migraines can be triggered or worsened by these type of mental pain due to muscle tension, stress hormones, or neurotransmitter imbalances. And yet, do we take this seriously as we do with other physical injuries? Physical pain demands attention and urgency. Think of a time you step on a Lego toy. It's like a tiny piece of plastic suddenly holds the power to ruin your entire day. Emotional pain is similar, but sneakier. It doesn't scream like a stepped toe. It lingers, whispering doubts and sadness in the background of our mind. It's the unanswered call, or the friend who suddenly stops talking to you. Over time, this kind of pain can build up and can affect our physical health. Physical pain fades with time and treatment, while the other burrows in, becoming the part of the very fabric of who we are. This is why you have to acknowledge it when you're feeling any type of pain. Just like an alarm system, its task is to prevent any damage. So the next time you're feeling mental pain, remember, it's real and valid, and it has a purpose. If we ignore the pain messages, we end up damaging our tissue, and it will affect our biological factors and psychological aspects. Sometimes, the ignorance of the childhood trauma can shape adults with some behavioral, emotional, and even physical problems. That's why you have to acknowledge it and seek support when you're feeling any type of mental pain. We also have to remember that everyone tends to have different threshold of tolerating pain, whether it is social or emotional. 2 words, 4 letters, each beginning with the same alphabet. Seems like opposite, but couldn't be more synonymous. Heart and heal. You cannot heal from great pain without experiencing great pain. Just as a wound needs care to mend, so does your heart and mind. Take care of your mind as you would your body, because healing one helps heal the other. Thank you.